Clay Morgan here today talking about the 4 main things you need to know to understand the Black Death of Europe.
History guy.
Number 1. What was the Black Death? It was a plague, probably bubonic plague, in the middle of the 14th century, specifically the years of the 1346-47 into the 1350s. It spread all over Europe. It was really, really bad. Number 2, how did it start? Well, it came from Asia, moved across China, and it was carried by the Mongols, who were rampaging. For a century and a half, the Mongols were establishing a dynamic empire from the Far East all the way up to Constantinople. Their men mysteriously started to die. So as a parting gift to the Europeans they were laying siege to, they flung the corpses by catapult over the city walls, and that infected many more. The plague came across through infected people along caravan trading routes, on the seas, through shipping lanes, and specifically it was the fleas. Fleas got rides in on the backs of rats, on fabrics and sacks, whatever they could ride on. They carried the bacteria and they would jump onto humans and they would bite them, and that would infect people who got one of 2 forms of this horrifying disease. And one form would cause the person's lungs to liquefy and they would slowly die, and the other form caused them essentially to bleed out. It was a horrible way to suffer, and many people were infected. Number 3, how bad was it? Well, if that wasn't bad enough, what I just described, how about 1/2 to 2/3 of the European population, we don't even know for sure, died as a result of this plague. It was all-encompassing. There was no escape. And we know that there was a social breakdown. People started to just feel like there was no hope. Some people turned to absolute insanity and hedonism. A group called the Flagellants formed in Germany as the plague had come up from Italy into Spain and Portugal and Germany and beyond throughout all of Northern Europe. And the Flagellants would go around putting on a show and flogging themselves. They believed that they would pay their penance for their sins so that God would spare them. And they went around actually hurting other people and eventually murdering. Before you know it, they were living out in the woods like rock stars. They attracted this following, and it must have just been a radical time until Pope Clement VI actually stepped in and told the kings through papal bull to shut it down, and they went out and rounded up the leaders as heretics and beheaded them. What blows my mind is, what do you do with all the bodies? They had thousands and thousands of bodies. They were throwing them in the river. They were trying to fill mass graves. The Italians were burying people like lasagna. They would put a row of bodies in and sprinkle some dirt, put another row of bodies in and sprinkle some dirt. As one historian has said it, it would have just been horrifying. The smells, the inability to escape it. Families all died together. Sometimes they didn't and people left. It was horrible. That's how bad it was, and that's just a little bit of a picture of what they were up against. 4, who did it affect? Well, everybody in the time that it was raging, but it really affected us. It affected people beyond that age. It caused an entire breakdown in the social structure of what was known as feudalism, the system where you had lords of the realm and knights of the round table and all that business. There was this system of vassals and vassalage where people swore oaths to protect the land. That all would fall apart because as everybody died, there was a labor shortage, and it ended up not being good for the lords of the manor anymore. If feudalism collapsed, all of Europe changed. The church didn't have answers. Up until that point, everybody thought that the church would be able to answer life's biggest problems and provide at least security for eternal salvation. But the Black Death caused people to question authority in a new way. As much as anything else, would lead to the rising skepticism, the eventual search for more knowable truth, the desire, I should say, for theological understanding. And before you know it, you have the Protestant Reformation, and Western civilization really changes radically. Those are the basics of what it was, where it started, how bad it was, and who it affected. Far-reaching, even into the Renaissance and beyond, and that's the Black Death.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. I was thinking about the pyramids, just like you should be. Hey,
Let's say a big thank you to Clay for giving a baller lesson on some baller topics. That's what's up. Don't get a chance to recap. Also, if you get a chance, check out Clay at claywrites.com and subscribe to him on social media. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you can learn everything, ever, and never miss anything, ever. Not even a free throw. Seriously, you subscribe to this channel, you will not miss a free throw. And here's the guarantee. If you ever do miss a free throw after you subscribe to this channel, we will give you back all of the money we took from you. Which is nothing. So go ahead and subscribe. Check out Clay. Go ahead and subscribe. Okay. I'll wait.